Hello again and welcome to Lesson 23. In Building Speed today we will be including and we have that picture of the rat to remind us, as well as thinking about short and long vowel sounds and the choices of spelling that we have. Write the letter or letters you need for the sounds you hear. Is R. Is L and double L if we hear it at the end of a one-tap word with a short vowel sound. I is I consonant E and IGH. Ft is FT. A is A and A consonant E. Sk is SC and SK. And we decide which one based on the vowel letter that comes after it. A is A. O is O and O consonant E. S is S and double S. But it can also be CY, CI and CE. And they're in that order to remind us of cycle to the city centre. Unk is NK. Teeth on your tongue, F and F and are both TH. E is E, double E and E consonant E. I is I. This time we have our teeth on our bottom lip and we can feel vibration when we say V is V and VE. And oo. And oo are both double O. K is C, K, and CK. E is E. O is O. And teeth on the back of our bottom lip again. F, but there's no vibration. F is F. And double F. So we have now got L, S, K, and F, written in a slightly different way when we hear them at the end of a one-syllable word with a short vowel sound. And for our long vowels, we have a slightly different activity. But first, we'll say the sounds we say when we're reading. Let's go back to the beginning. R, L, L, I, ft, A, sk, a, o, s. And just looking at the letter C, because of the letter that's next to it, it is also S. And we know because of the Y, I and E. Nk, th or th, E, 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 I, V, oo, and O. K, 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 E, O, f, and f again. And now we have something a little bit different. If we think about A, we know that we write it with the letter A if we hear it at the end of a syllable or all on its own in a syllable. We write it A consonant E as the first choice we hear in the middle of a word. And a new one, A-I, is the second choice if we hear A in the middle of a word. And we will be including it in some of the words in lesson 23. Next vowel, can you guess which one it is? E. This is how we spell it if we hear it at the end of a syllable or all on its own in a syllable. Next, in the middle of a word, first choice, double E. That's the one that's used the most. And another new spelling choice for the second most used spelling, E-A. Not E consonant E. That isn't used very often. I, we write it with an I at the end of a syllable or on its own in one. I consonant E and IGH. You're quite used to those, so nothing new there. O, end of a syllable spelling. O consonant E, most used choice in the middle of a word, and our next new spelling, O-A, is the second most used in the middle of a word. So now we are building up our choices. And you may have noticed that EA appeared in one of the words in the last lesson, which was a bit sneaky of me, but I knew that I wanted to include 3 today. So putting one of them with an R to remind you where it should have been is making the load for your memory a little less. You can go back if you'd like to take another look at all of the sounds we did in part 1. Lesson 9's Building Speed 2 will have them there, or you can use what you can see here. You can also then check up on the reasons for using suffix S. And in Building Speed for capitals, you can be the teacher for adding the lowercase letters. In part 2 of Shapes and Sounds, you can go to lesson 19. And you can see from looking at those that we are continuing to go over some of them, the ones that have those extra choices. You might also want to look at when to use an apostrophe and check up on those rules. Thank you for joining me.